Hey there, happy Tuesday. I hope your day is off to a great start. Sorry, I've been MIA last week. I was on vacation, but I am back, and we are back today with our buyer education. And today we are going to talk about something called preoccupancy. And that's when you actually need to move into the new home you're buying before you actually bought it, before you close on the property. So why do some people need preoccupancy? Well, maybe you sold your house faster than what you're purchasing this house. So let's say you sold your house on June 29th, but you're not closing on your new house until July 10th. You have, 11, 12 days of nowhere to live. So you might need preoccupancy. Or let's say your lease is up and you have to move out, but you can't close on your new property until after your lease is up, so you need somewhere to live. That's when you need preoccupancy in your new home. That essentially means you become a renter of your new property. And you have to negotiate that either when you're putting in your offer or maybe once you're under contract, but it's much better if you negotiate that up front and make that a contingency of your offer, that you need to have preoccupancy, because it is risky for a seller to give you preoccupancy. Now, why is that risky? Well, let's say you move in and your loan is denied. Now you're living in a house that you cannot purchase, and if you don't vacate, then the seller now has a squatter. Because you might not want to vacate because you don't have anywhere to go yet. You have to line things up. Or what happens if something comes up on title and there's a cloud on the title and they can't get that off? Then you're going to have to move out until, unless they can rectify it. So those are some reasons why you might need preoccupancy and why it's risky for the seller. Now, let's say the seller agrees to give it to you. And because there's a risk, you guys are going to need a couple things as a buyer to offer the seller. First, you need to offer a hefty deposit. So it depends on the price of the home, but $500 in most cases is not going to do it. We're talking thousands, so maybe $5,000, $10,000, depending on the price of the home. You need to offer a hefty deposit. You're also going to have to pay rent while you live in the house before you own it, because the seller's still paying a mortgage. And that rent is going to be based on PITI, principal, interest, tax, insurance. So that might be $50 a day, it might be $100 a day. It just depends on how much the house is. And your lender can tell you how much the PITI is going to be. The other thing you're going to need is renter's insurance for that short term that you're going to be in the property before you actually own the property. So these are all things you need to take into consideration. And guys, sometimes the seller's just not going to let you do it. We have had cases where the seller's attorney has said, nope, we advise against it. And sometimes the sellers have done it anyway, but with caveats in there, such as a very, very high deposit and a higher rent per day, and a clause written by their own attorney versus the standard verbiage that we have here as your buyer representative. So it is possible that you can move into the property before you close. It's something we can negotiate on your behalf. However, you have to keep in mind, sometimes the seller won't let it won't let you move in. And so you're going to have to come up with an alternative, whether it's an extended stay hotel, moving in with family or friends just for that short period of time. But we will try to help you negotiate whatever we can. Again, I do recommend that you try to negotiate that up front, because then you know what you're going to do and you have a plan. Negotiating that after the fact can be a little harder if the seller doesn't allow you. But you do need to be prepared for that hefty deposit and everything. If you all have questions on this, please send me a message or put it down in the chat. Happy to answer anything you want to know about preoccupancy. And if you're shy, send me a message. We'll talk that way. On Thursday, we're going to talk about rent backs, which help the seller. So that's where the seller's going to stay in the home after they've already closed. So we'll discuss that on Thursday. I am Shannon Milligan from RVA Home Team, powered by eXp Realty. If you guys would like a guide on the home buying process. This is the home buying process guide from contract to close. Please send me a message with your email. I will get that out to you within 24 hours. We have the entire process of what you need to do, everything from talking to a lender to viewing homes and frequently asked questions. It's just got some really great info. All right, guys, we will see you on Thursday. Bye, y'all.